То я
Good
хотела, может...
evening.
Hello,
Oh,
everybody.
hello. Hello, everyone. Yeah, hello, dear
Hello.
participants, dear colleagues.
Hello.
We are still waiting for the people to join. The number of participants increased. So, and we are still in the progress of adding new people. So thank you for this interest that you show in the course. That's a pleasure for all of us to work with you. So currently we have 117 people registered for the course, yeah, compared to 80 who were present the previous time. Still right now, I still see 72. Perhaps the rest will join us a bit later. Okay, while we are waiting, yeah. So thank you for coming. Thank you for being present with us, in spite of the fact that it's just the end of the day. So, and it's middle of the week and you are tired. So could you please react in the chat and leave some comments, like with the help of one adjective would be enough, of how you are feeling now. Just one adjective that describes how you are feeling now. Try not to stick to these usual fine, not bad. So think of something more creative. Mhm. Oh, delightful, creative, excited, quite so. A nice choice of words, magnificent. So, Mikhailo, so could you please specify, like, what makes you feel magnificent today? Just a couple of words from you. Mm-hmm. Mikhailo, where are you? So, perhaps like
I don't know how to describe this. Just magnificent as always.
Okay, that just so the mood you are currently in. So thank you for mentioning these words. Then somebody mentioned something in Ukrainian. Olechka, I cannot decipher it, unfortunately. Yeah, a lot of you feel exhausted, overwhelmed, incredible, inspired. So I do believe that you will feel like inspired, incredible. Like being amazed and quite awesome and wonderful, even at the end of this class that we are going to have now. Okay, so right now, I would like you to comment on the following. So I will start sharing the screen, just a moment. I would like you to comment on these quote that belongs to Ignacio Estrada, so a teacher from Salvador, so who used to be a man, so playing puppets. So, and he got so interested in this profession that so later he decided to become a teacher. So he changed his occupation. So he said, if a child can't learn the way we teach, maybe we should teach the way they learn. How do you understand it? So agree or disagree on this? Are there any volunteers who'd like to comment? Okay, so Alexandra, could you please?
I agree with this statement because everyone is different, and we need to find this way to each child to be more concentrative of their full learning, not only for our method. That, for example, I know this method the best, and I will do only this method. No, we need to concentrate on their maybe some reason that we need to improve our skills every day. And I know another good phrase that I saw in the TikTok. It was really grateful and great, and I think about it. So if I stay in education, it will be because of the kids. If I leave education, it will be because of the adults. I think that children is really has a lot of differences between adults because they are really funny, they are really creative, and we need to watch on these opportunities that they have.
Okay, thanks a lot. So for such a detailed description. And I'm thankful also to your cat who is learning today together with us. Yeah. So
Yes,
like is it he cat, she cat?
it's he, and he also learning methodology and teaching with me.
So together with his master. So yeah,
Yes.
perfect. So thank you, thank you. Okay, so I see that there are a lot of volunteers. So still we have a lot of activities. Then perhaps if you have like something else to be added for us not to repeat the ideas, yeah. Then so a comment on that. So Alina was yeah among those who were like who raised their hands just after Alexandra. Alina, so would you? Alina, so she
I,
disappeared. Okay.
yeah, yeah, I'm here. So, maybe that's actually I see eye to eye with the statements that the first and the second, maybe it's also about seeing the appropriate approach for students. I mean, with the eyes of the student. What do I mean in this? So if the person wants to know something particular or specific, maybe we need to take it into account first. And maybe to like form or adjust or all our lesson plans according to the student and its needs and according to the type of the student, because we can't apply the same lesson plan to a student with visual type of learning and the same with kinesthetic, for example, type of learning. So maybe it would be great to put for teachers to put ourselves like in their shoes. Yeah.
Thanks a lot. And Arseny, so and we will quit with this and we'll need just to make this transition to other activities. Okay.
In addition, I think that this quote highlights the fact that it emphasizes the fact that lessons for children shouldn't be teacher-centered. I mean that these lessons should be not based on the convenience for teachers, but they should be rather based for the results for children. It is the teacher who needs to improvise, to do something, to come up with new ideas.
Yeah, so thanks a lot. So much and depends on the teacher, though the class, yeah, shouldn't be teacher-centered. So right you are. So you were great. You've presented truly awesome ideas. So thanks a lot. Now, I will assign you in breakout rooms. I believe that all those who wanted to be present in the class, so or in our session, so are already here. You will work in 10 groups. Mind please, so that these groups are already signed here. So I will just provide you with the link to this Padlet page. So check if it works, if it's active, check. If we do not have any, whether we have or don't have any technical hiccups. Okay, so yeah, so it works. So thanks a lot. And you are free to leave comments here as far as you can see. What do you need to do? I will ask you to share your personal experience in learning English. By the way, nowadays, so we do use different synonyms to the word learn English, and one of them is to acquire English. So, and I believe that according to the psychological mechanisms, so that were described by Stephen Krashen, so the word acquire the language perhaps will be even better. Still, they are used so like alongside with each other. Now, in these 10 groups of yours, so comment on how you learned English. And after this discussion that you will have with the members of your subgroup, come up with 3 strategies that were the most effective, at least for your subgroup, for all those members of the subgroup that you will work in. Okay. Yulia Yurina, will you help us?
Yeah, I guess we can start. So welcome.
We need to wait a bit. I've seen a lot of comments from you. Still, there are some groups that haven't left so any comments. Maybe they are still discussing. That's why we will give them some more time while we are waiting for all the people to join us. So and for the people to finalize their notes on Padlet, I'd like to ask you to think who will be the delegate in your group, because now I will share the screen, and this person who will be chosen as a delegate will have to provide comments behind the strategies chosen by you or suggested by you, so on this Padlet platform. I believe that it will be the most talkative person in your subgroup. So we had a couple of people of the kind, and we've already delegated the responsibility to one of our students. So perhaps like while you are still thinking it over, we will start with group 6, if you don't mind, because we already know who this delegate, who the delegate will be. Yeah, Olena? Can you please?
Yeah, okay, so
I will share the screen just a moment for you to have it in front of you.
Thanks. Okay, so we've discussed some strategies and activities which helped us to acquire the language, and we had thoughts about authenticity, especially watching authentic videos and having conversations, texting, video calls, or voice messages with native speakers, which we can find on the internet. Yeah, as it's important to acquire language as it is in its real state. And what's more important is not just acquire the language, but practice it and use it. Not just learn the vocabulary and grammar structures, but trying to apply them in real life situations. And yeah, and if we do not have them, we can create them, like write the texts, and as I've mentioned, find a pen friend or something like that.
Okay, so thanks a lot, Helen. Thank you. Now, so I will have to ask who'd like to be the representative of Group 1, but let us agree upon the following thing. Since some ideas will be repeated, let us not repeat what has already been mentioned. Yeah, let us dwell upon something unique that like all your groups have. Just dwell upon these unique strategies for us to save a bit of time. So Group 1, who will be your representative or your delegate? Should I appoint someone? So you have a lot of interesting ideas. Loyal Hornet, will it be you? You are responsible for texting. So, ladies and gentlemen.
So we thought the best practice it would be first hour it would be watch English series or video and write new words. So we not only learn simple new words in a dictionary, we learn these words in a context and watch English video and see these words, write them and understand what's happening in this video. The next hour tip it learning new words. The second it would be when you not only watch this video and forget for this video, you learn these new words and then try to use in your speech. And the next our tip is talking about that, the speaking on lesson. So you not only watch this video or reading this book, you write these new words, you learn them, and then use it in your speech, and that help you more be fluently in your English. And the next our tip it would be common is to speak in a real life situation. And when you have not simple dialogue like ask Maxim what he like or what car he has, do you speaking for a real life, what would be help for you, for example situation in airport or situation in shopping when you need to buy something.
Thank you. Thank you. You are Maria, yeah? Masha. Okay, so Loyal Hornet, that's Masha. Now I will associate you with that name. So Group 2, Olena Harlan, Helena Kovalenko, Sribna Valeria. So there are so many people who were texting. So will it be like, could you please choose one person so who will provide that commenting? So brief commenting, just brief commenting on this.
I can.
Anastasia Ruda? Okay.
If nobody from my group wants, so that I can do it, but
do it, please.
So, okay, we were discussing a lot of things, and some of them were already mentioned, so I won't speak about that.
Yeah, speak them.
What we find really helpful was improving pronunciation, because it's not only improving the way you're speaking, it's also improving your listening skills. And if you can listen to something in English, it means that you can also speak. You can be a good listener, a good talkative person, and you can communicate with different people. And also a good technique for improving your pronunciation, basically shadowing, because you repeat after people who are natives and they have authentic pronunciation, and you basically acquire the way they're speaking, the way they're pronouncing words, their pitch, their intonation, and other things they have in this language, and it sounds more authentic from you.
Thanks a lot. So yeah, you dwelt upon the need of improving on your pronunciation. So thank you for this cool idea. Group 3. So remember that we are not supposed to repeat the ideas mentioned. Yeah, just comment on something new, some original ideas. So who will be the speaker? Serious orangutan? So who's this? Who is hiding behind this nickname? Okay, no volunteers. Tatiana. Tatiana, will you?
Okay, I will. So first of all, drill and practice activities. We used them when we had to learn some structures, when we have to drill something, and then we practice it. Translating was already mentioned, I think. Real life situations. It was like dialogues with my teacher, and then we played roles when I was in university. So real life situations were also useful, and also self-correction when our teacher doesn't correct us at on time. Yeah, she was waiting until we corrected ourselves.
Okay, wasn't
And
it too time
interactive games.
consuming? Sorry for interrupting you. Wasn't it too time consuming? It's a nice idea, but still. Didn't it take a lot of time?
No, it didn't.
It didn't. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool then.
And
So,
interactive games such as Kahoot and etc.
yeah. So gamification, yeah, gamification, extensive gamification. So such techniques as self-correction and also a lot of communication in real life situations. So yeah, that enabled you to not only to drill your accuracy, but to develop your fluency. So thank you, Tatiana. Thanks a lot. Group 4, Tatiana Vasilkivska. Can it be you?
Yeah, okay. I will ask like girls to correct me in some points if I'm wrong. So yeah, I would like to start with gamification. I'm sorry, I'm clumsy and I was like correcting sentence words like each time, like it's still there are mistakes. Gamification, yeah, like we can come up with interesting form of exercises. Like we can put, we can make them more interactive, so students could be more engaged into the learning. Also, usage of authentic visual video aids was already mentioned. About interaction role play. Okay, we actually should engage students in communication, and I would also wrote the word initiative because it's really important. You need to encourage students to participate and show the example that everyone like actually should be interested in like such kind of role. And maybe I will ask Alina to like explain chunks. She has more details about it.
Given the floor to her.
Yeah, so I'm here. Yeah. What do I mean? What do I mean by chunks? Actually, that's a kind of set phrases or words that can be found together in language. For example, by the way, or and it's really useful to use them. For example, because it helps to process language in real time, and we used it actually at school, but it wasn't so successful because not all students were ready to learn these chunks and to use them and to process them in their brain first. But still, it was really useful. And I think it can be used even nowadays. So
Yeah, so for those who still have the question like on their mind, so what chunk stands for, we'll tell them that it's like a kind of like collocation, yeah, not the isolated phrase or not the isolated word, sorry, not the phrase word, but we are talking about phrases, collocations, for example, idiomatic so expressions, so that you could be in the know of not only the word itself, but also of all the prepositions it's associated with, yeah, of how it should be used within the context of the sentence and whatnot. So thank you for providing this clarification behind that. So group five. So we have Polina, Ars, Afruza, so many people. So we're writing, texting, leaving comments. Is there anyone willing to comment on what is stated here?
Can I try?
Afruza?
Self-practicing is, I can say that it is a very powerful way to improve English when you do not have a person to talk to in English. Journaling, when you write daily, it helps to organize your thoughts and sometimes improve your grammar skills. There are some applications that can check your grammar, so journaling would be really good practice. Also, it can build your own vocabulary that you use daily. Immersing in social networks, it engages when you engage in discussions. Your practice is more effective, and it is a real life language. When you immerse in social networks, in English social networks, and reading stories help you learn grammar and vocabulary naturally in context. They also improve comprehension and can make learning more enjoyable. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. By the way, did I pronounce your word in the proper way? Are you Afruza? So like where the stress is?
The stress is in the second syllable.
Afruza.
Yeah. Afruza.
Sorry, because I didn't ask that. I just mentioned it, and then I thought that so I'd better ask you. So thank you, Afruza. Then, so group 6. So like we were the representatives of this group, and we started like with comments on based on group number 6. That's why we will immediately switch to group 7. We have here like quirky owl. Who's this? Can you tell me? Who's this? Okay, Maria.
So not to repeat what was already told, we can add constant practicing and learning like all the time when you have the possibility and the desire to learn and learning by heart as much as possible. So learning texts, some collocations, everything you can learn by heart, just to remember how to say these sentences, with which intonation and so on.
Okay, thanks a lot. So group 8, yeah. Katerina?
Yeah, I don't know even because everyone is so smart and named almost everything.
All of you are smart, so
maybe
do not underappreciate yourself and underestimate.
Of course, learning through communication, shadowing, real life situation, learning context, record voice, and it's maybe one thing that I would add to the pronunciation is recording of the speech and analysis of mistakes. And of course, I can also add motivation because without this, no one strategy will work at all.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Then groups 9 and 10 are left. So let us be brief. So remember that we are not like mentioning what has already been said. So just because like there are some ideas that are overlapping, just dwell upon some genuine original ideas. I know that it's a bit difficult because like, yeah, you are the last to comment and a lot has already been mentioned. So in group number 9, we have comments by left by Lyudmila Gennadievna Shavrova. Perhaps I am mistaken at pronouncing the surname. And Happy Stork. So who'd like to comment? Yulia. Yulia Andreevna. So will you please?
Yeah, I am a happy stork.
Uh-huh.
Yes, and I think most of our ideas were already mentioned because authentic materials and communication is of course important in acquiring and learning English. But also, if I'm not mistaken, the girl Alina proposed a great idea, creating stories in front of the mirror, communication with yourself while creating some stories and communicating to yourself. And actually, I use this strategy as well for learning English.
Yeah, so thank you. Yeah, so you expressed a lot of great ideas. Yeah, we will just sum that up now. And group 10, Creative Parrot. Where are you?
It was me. I just forgot to
Lera?
change the name.
Okay,
So our ideas, they are simple and everyone says them, like reading many texts, speak as much as possible, create English environment. Like for me, it's the most important just to speak a lot with everyone, to read a lot of information in English, to watch many videos in English, and you will see the progress.
Yeah, so thanks a lot. So many great ideas were mentioned, and you are so smart and intelligent. And it just proves that great students like you definitely have great teachers who do know what strategies to choose, who do know how to plan their lessons, and who do know the theories of learning that we will dwell upon today. Because our today's session will be dedicated to knowing theories of learning and understanding students' needs. Obviously, your teachers, like from what you've already mentioned, from what you do, because quite a lot of said that, so that's what you do in the classroom, not just outside the classroom, but inside the classroom. It just proves for me that your teachers did and still do a great job. And today, so we will kind of, I believe that maybe that information is not quite new for you, but at least we will sum up on it. Or perhaps you will get to know still some new things. Or there will be some new things to consider. We've already talked about strategies that help you to learn English. We will also discuss important learning theories, especially those in relation to second language acquisition. We will talk about factors that affect learning, namely, we will talk about or dwell upon learners' individual differences. And we will also discuss the best approaches to follow. So before we proceed to covering the second issue in our 7th item in our plan that is entitled Important Learning Theories, I'd like to address you with a question. Why do you consider them to be so important, like the knowledge of these theories? So still it's theory, not practice, but why is the knowledge of these theories or hypotheses can be so important? So just by raising your hand, let me know that you'd like to answer. Alina, thank you for being so active. Thank you. Could you please?
Yeah, sure. I think it's very important to know the theories to combine them, like eclectic method or approach, to combine them in order to create maybe kind of universal thing that would be applied to each student. So, because I think that it's nearly impossible to use only one theory in teaching. It's just possible to combine them to create an ideal lesson.
So like from what you've said, so I can infer a conclusion or come to a conclusion that it's important for us to better know the needs of our students. Yeah. So when we know the needs of the students, what does it enable us to do next? To make all the necessary kind of adjustments in planning of our lessons, so in the structure of the lessons, so it enables us to adapt the curricula in the proper way, and it will enable us as teachers to make our lessons more effective. Yeah. And besides, yeah, so that's important to understand, as Alina has already mentioned, that so it's simply impossible just to apply one theory, because like we should know a lot of them so that we could apply a combination, an effective combination of as many as it's needed in the classroom. Okay, if talking about these important theories and hypotheses, then there are a lot of them. And if you dealt, I believe that you were diligent students and so that you dealt with those pre-session materials sent to you, then perhaps you already noticed so a number of them mentioned there. But today we will describe them and discuss them in more detail. Today we will talk about those theories that can be adjusted to the needs of language learning or so-called language acquisition in terms of Stephen Krashen. This will be effective filter, comprehensible input, zone of proximal development, cone of learning, thinking skills, 4 stages of learning, spiral curriculum, and I added here also cognitive development, so that is interrelated with the with processing, yeah, or digesting, so the information related to acquiring a language. How will we work now? In what way will we digest or work with this information? So I suggest that the best option for all of us would be for me to attach some files in the so here, I mean, in the chat, in our Telegram group. So are all of you here? Will it be comfortable for you if I just leave these files here? Yeah? Will it be convenient to you?
I think yes.
Yeah, because
Yes.
if I leave that in the chat, perhaps so it can disappear in case if you cannot just download that so right now. Okay, so here we have 8 Word documents. And now, as I've mentioned, you will work in breakout rooms. In what way or how? And what do you need to do? Actually, so each of these Word documents contains some essential information on one of the theories mentioned by me. Yeah, so that's why now you will work in 8 groups, and each group will be responsible just for that file, the number of which will correlate with or correspond to the number of your breakout room. Yeah, for example, if you are supposed to work in breakout room number 1, you will have to open the file with number 1. So if you are in group number 8, then open the file numbered as 8. What do you need to do? So I will open one of those files just for you to understand how to deal with it. So.
Sorry, we don't have this Telegram chat with Alina Chivichelova. Can you send me for us?
Okay, so
the
I
link
actually send, then...
Okay, so Alena, I guess I can deal with it in the chat and you can explain the task. I will just add the link to join Telegram. Okay, you may explain it.
Thank you for assisting me in that. So what do you need to do? So in your groups, when you are in the know what group you are in and what file you are working on, dwell on key ideas of the theory you are responsible for and think of its practical application in the classroom. So you are supposed first to read the information, dwell on these key ideas, and think how you will practically apply or use that, like being in the shoes of the teacher in the classroom. It seems to me that it would be quite convenient for you to work using Padlet. Here I provided you with some spaces for commenting, yeah? And I will also leave the link here in the chat. So check if it works again, check if it works. So in your group, you will need to read, dwell upon the key ideas, and here on this Padlet platform, you are supposed to leave comments as to how you can apply it in practice, yeah, in the classroom. Then, when the time is over, because I believe that you'll provide it with enough time for that, with Yulia Yurievna, we will give you, 9 minutes. 9 will be enough or 10? So just to be frank, how much time do you feel you'll need for this? Because we can now negotiate on it. Just 9 minutes. 9 minutes. I believe 9 minutes will be like more than enough.
So,
Then you will have
Elena, participants in the chat say that 10 minutes would be okay.
10 minutes would be okay. The more the better. Okay, let it be 10. Let it be 10. Like within this time allotted to you, you'll need to cope with the task, and you should also think of the delegate who will present the ideas of your team. Yeah, since you are responsible for different theories, remember that other participants from other groups are unaware of like what you dealt with. That's why you'll need to clarify, like kind of brief on key ideas of the theory and suggest the activities that would work in practice. Okay, do you have questions? Are there any questions to me on this? No? If so, then Yulia Yurievna will help me with assigning you in breakout.
So we are ready to start.
Thank you. Okay, people are coming back. Yeah. So it seems as if some people disappeared at the stage of working with these theories. Perhaps they will be back. Okay, I will start sharing the screen. Yeah, so there are a lot of ideas mentioned here. So who'd like to be the first? Who'd like to be the first? So here it doesn't matter like whose theory was the first. Yeah, if there is someone wishing to present the ideas of their group, you may be the first. Okay. So effective filter theory. So I saw that like the ideas here were among the first to appear on Padlet platform. Are there any representatives who could start talking? Alinочka, again, that's you. Okay, so I don't mind. Will you please?
We agreed on me, so yeah. I would be first in here. So we agreed on creating non-toxic. Oh, sorry. First, I need to explain.
Develop on key ideas, yeah.
Yeah, so actually, effective filter hypothesis, it focuses on emotional factors like anxiety, motivation. I mean, to avoid anxiety, to encourage motivation and confidence, and how this key terms influence language acquisition. I mean, anxiety, motivation, and confidence. And we agreed with girls on the thing that we need to create non-toxic atmosphere. And I love Olena's idea to add mood checkers so it can establish rapport. So that's good. The next, set clear goals and of course to praise students and emphasize students' achievements. So that's very important to say nice words, positive feedback. Yeah, and of course, take into account students' interest because effective filter is also about the interests and in general to be on the same wave with a student to avoid anxiety and establish rapport and encourage confidence. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you. And let us clarify that for all those who are now active listeners, yeah, you're active listeners. So you've mentioned, so you've explained, yeah, pretty well what effective filter theory is. Still here, we should mention the idea with low effective filter and high effective filter. What's this for them to be in the know? If the effective filter is low, what does it mean?
So if I'm not mistaken, if it's low, that means like that's something negative. Yeah. So that's no, that's
no, vice versa. Effective filter is like a barrier. Yeah. So just imagine when you are just high jump. So the higher, for example, so the obstacle, so the more difficult it is for you to kind of jump over it. The lower it is, the easier. It's like in sport. The easier it is, the more comfortable you feel about it. Yeah, you've recollected that. So
Yeah.
sorry for interrupting. Yeah, sorry for interrupting, but that's just for all those who are listening to us. Yeah. So the idea behind the affective filter is that if it's low, students feel comfortable. So, and the intake comes in a more natural atmosphere, and language is acquired more in a more comfortable way, and we have that necessary output. Yeah. So like we have this processed language. If it's high, for example, then it means that the students experience a lot of psychological problems. They feel anxiety and fear. Thank you for great ideas. Yeah, so I especially like the idea with these mood checkers suggested by Olena. Yeah, and non-toxic atmosphere. That's like the coolest term I've ever seen and heard. So thanks a lot for mentioning it. Then comprehensible input. Who was responsible for this? Comprehensible input. Okay, Anastasia, Arsene, perhaps, yeah? I can be mistaken still.
Yeah, it's me.
Yeah, Arseni, I remembered you. Could you please specify?
So as for comprehensible input, so the logic is simple. If we provide a text or a dialogue for students when native speakers speak too fast or use very difficult words, students will not understand anything. But if someone in the text or in the dialogue speaks very slowly and uses only words you already know, students will not progress. That is why you need to find a happy medium and use
Golden
comprehensible
mean. We call it the golden mean. Yeah, the
or
golden
golden mean.
mean.
Yeah, so you need to provide a story or a text or a conversation where students understand most of what happened, but there are a few new words or new grammar which can be obvious for them from pictures, from situations.
Okay, and like this comprehensible input can be acquired through what kind of activities?
So our group came up with two main ideas. First is picture storytelling is when you have a text and for instance let it be traveling and the use of past simple and with the use of visuals you can predict what happened in this text. For instance, in the picture one, a person went to Paris. In the picture two, a person took a photo. So in that way, if a person doesn't know these past simple verbs anyway, a person can predict what it is. And another thing was total physical response is when a teacher uses gestures or mimics to show emotions, to show parts of body and other things in reality.
Okay,
If I'm not, so my group, if I'm mistaken, please add some comments.
Yeah, you can add some comments. It doesn't mean that you've chosen Arseniy to be the victim and he will be the only speaker today. So if you have something to correct, add, for example, improve, you're welcome.
Arsene, just thank you for presenting us.
Okay. So they are thankful to you, Arseniy, so as well as me.
My pleasure.
Yeah, so the pleasure is ours as well. Now, I will also just say my say here, and I will add a bit. So why is it called comprehensible input? So the idea belongs to Stephen Krashen. Yeah, so they both ideas, like with affective filter as well as with comprehensible input, belong to Stephen Krashen. He says that, so currently, every person who is acquiring a language or just learning a language, taking the first steps in it, so has the level of language, some level of language proficiency, be it A1 or A2, it doesn't matter. And so whenever we are suggesting the tasks or giving the tasks to this person, they shouldn't be too challenging, because if they are, then the student will not understand anything and so will stop being motivated altogether. So input should be comprehensible. It means that it should be a bit beyond or above. So like it should be advanced. Yeah. So that material that you are giving just like shouldn't stay on the same, shouldn't be of the same level that a learner already has, because that wouldn't be interesting for him and the learner will not be developing. So it should be so a bit more advanced or slightly advanced, so that for example, the learner who is currently here, yeah, so like with being being provided with these like slightly difficult tasks, not too challenging, quite measurable, so could acquire and cope with what is asked of him. So thank you, Arseny. Now we have like the spiral curriculum, yeah, the spiral curriculum. So any comments on this? There is some anonymous user, that's why I cannot appoint the person, but still, are there any volunteers to talk?
Okay, maybe.
What's the
Maybe
idea
I
behind
can.
it? Ivana, okay, thank you.
If we talk about spiral curriculum, we talk about think that students, like teachers, should teach learners, and every time we come back to the material. For example, we study present simple in the 5th grade, in the 1st grade, and in each grade at school. And then in each level of the studying this material, we should make it more complicated.
Right. So yeah, so can you provide some practical examples? So you've just mentioned the steps. We need repeat topics, go deeper each time, and use old or prior knowledge. Yeah, so rely on the knowledge we already have. Yeah, so I will illustrate it with one example. You've already mentioned that, so we should revisit, yeah, or kind of revise on what we've already done before. For example, let us talk about this present continuous tense. So their pupils work with that at primary school. But does it mean that we stop working with that just at the level of primary school? Of course not. So we revisit this topic and we kind of like boost our knowledge or like deepen our knowledge on it. Because like at primary school, learners just know that present continuous is used just for talking about current situation, like of what is going on in front of your eyes. If talking about how we work with present continuous later, then it means that we need to talk about such a usage of present continuous like when we use it for future situations, for example, yeah, to describe some prearranged things. But that's what the learners will acquire much later. Okay, 4 phases of learning. I was a participant of that group, but I believe that perhaps maybe there will be some other people willing to talk. Afruza, so don't you mind being our speaker?
Okay. The first is flashcards. We can use it for memorizing phase. It is an effective tool because learners can reinforcing new information, and it is very helpful for vocabulary, concepts, or facts. Also, audio or video materials are also for memorizing phase. It can do our lessons more interactive. The second is playing games. It is a phase of authorization. It can motivate students, and also because of the interactive lessons, students can engage more.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and with useful phrases. Micro dialogues help students practice applying language. And it is crucial during the authorization and initiation phases. And the fourth is storytelling phase. It helps with making new language and concepts memorable through context and emotion.
Thank you. And I would like also to add a bit, yeah? So add a bit about these four phases, because the idea may seem to be quite new to a lot of you. It belongs to Mykola Karpenko. So this idea with four phases of learning dates back to 2000. So what stands behind this idea, and why do we call them four phases of learning? Because whenever we're introducing any new notion to our learners, yeah, so just because this structure of this new word, or for example, this collocation is absolutely new to the students, or our learners, they get impressed. Has because of this, so this stage bears such a name, yeah, the name of impressing. At this stage, students just get general understanding of the topic. That's why, so ladies who were working in my group suggested that it would be great to introduce new words with the help of flashcards. Why not? And that's how, like at this stage, the neural net or kind of like scheme or a map starts being created or starts building up in our heads. Then comes the second stage of memorizing. So we like begin memorizing their information. So currently that happens like on the level of this short-term memory. So we like practice, we drill using this information so that was provided to us or explained to us by the teacher through different tasks or exercises. And at this level, at this stage, the neural net strengthens, it develops. At the third stage that is named as authorization, the brain so kind of gets rid of unnecessary information, and here we deal with some editing. So if the brain feels that we do not need something, so we kind of like get rid of it, and that's it, and just deal with what will be essential and useful to us. At the stage of initiation, the students are ready to display their knowledge independently because their neural net is already formed and it's strong. That's why at this stage, when we are fully aware, yeah, of what we deal with, of a particular structure, vocabulary item, and whatnot, or like the skill is formed, so we can apply the knowledge gained or the skill developed in all the situations and do that independently. Okay, then Dale's cone of experience. Dale's cone of experience. So dwell upon key notions as well as suggest some practical tasks or activities behind. Vera.
So maybe I can present. So Dale's cone of experience, it's like a theory about working in groups in pairs. I mean, a lot of students, for them, it is difficult to learn something and to use these skills in real life because they just read something, hear, observe, not practice it. So it's about practicing it and to pay a lot of attention on activities which are connected with our real life, not just with one lesson. So we provide such activities like making projects, role play, because our students are engaged a lot. They are working together, they are sharing opinions with each other. Then discussion, debate, it's quite the same. And learn and share. The task is to
they get the topic and then they should observe it, find out some information, and then share it with their classmates.
Okay. So why is it called cone of experience? Cone. Can you specify why is it called cone?
It's like the figure.
Figure, yeah. So because it resembles this cone, kind of like pyramid, and it just shows how we remember the things. So through this cone can be subdivided into the bottom activities that provide us with active learning. These are, for example, the projects that you've mentioned, different debates, because they deal with what you say, what you may perhaps write, as well as just the top of it deals with passive learning. Through this cone, Edgar Dale enabled us to see that just in case if our learners are involved in doing something or hands-on activity, they will definitely, through analyzing, creating, evaluating something, they will be able to remember up to 90% of information. Just 70% is acquired through saying and writing something. If you see or hear something, it means more passive learning, and that's how you will learn up to 50% of information. And if you are just reading or just listening to the lecture of your teacher without doing anything, just sitting and watching or just listening, then you will hardly acquire more than 10 or 20% of what is provided to you. That's why you as teachers should create a lot of activities in which your students will actively participate. Let them do something on their own rather than enable them just to listen. That's what I did today. Because instead of just lecturing you on this information, I involved you in getting acquainted with the information, as well as I asked you to work on different activities that you can use and apply in the classroom, being in the shoes of the teachers. So thank you, Lerchka, and special thanks to your team. Then we have cognitive theory, Bloom's taxonomy, and the zone of proximal development. Okay, so let us start with Bloom's taxonomy. One more pyramid for us to discuss and to analyze. Happy Stork. So
yeah, Happy Stork is still me.
Yeah, Julia, I remember. You can delegate it to another person. I don't mind if you don't wish to talk. Or
So we decided that I will represent our group. So what is Bloom's taxonomy? It is a classification that categorizes different levels of thinking and learning. This Bloom's taxonomy provides a clear progression of cognitive skills. They are divided into higher order thinking skills and lower order thinking skills. Lower order thinking skills are remembering, understanding, and applying, and the rest are higher order thinking skills. So by developing each of the
levels,
knowledge
of the each level,
by developing each of the levels, you will broaden the range of thinking skills of your students. So let's start with remembering. We decided to add for remembering flashcards, quiz, or matching pictures or definitions with the words. It is a great way to recall some facts that had been discussed. For understanding, we have chosen explaining or giving definition to a concept that were discussed. For applying, we don't have this in, but I remember what we talked about.
Perhaps I will show you the picture once again.
For applying, the best way to our mind is to create real life scenarios or to create role play according to the material. For analyzing, maybe categorizing the words
yeah, or to compare two items or concepts, for evaluating debates, or giving feedbacks to your classmates' work, and for creating, yeah, it is the highest level in Bloom's taxonomy. So the best way is to create a story, a project, a video according to the materials that have been discussed or learned.
Thank you. So, like, what is the most essential level here in this Bloom's taxonomy, or in this kind of like pyramid? It's the level of
creation,
of course, creation, because like all those that are at the bottom, yeah, so they are kind of like they mark the passive acquiring the information. So, and they're like so the more we move to the top of it, so the more active the learning becomes. If we, for example, correlate that with Edgar Dale's cone of learning, it's vice versa. In his cone of learning, yeah, so like what is at the foot means that like just when the learners are being involved in doing hands-on activities, so they learn something actively. In Bloom's taxonomy, like the picture seems to be the same, but the idea provided behind is totally different, because just when we are just at the peak of the mountain, yeah, when we like delve into the process of producing something on our own, yeah, so then it means that our students have truly learned the material. Okay, so thank you, Julia. Thank you for like for talking, for presenting. So for like I believe that now all the learners have got clearer understanding like of what it is. So thanks to your presentation. Thank you. Then the zone of proximal development. We have Anastasia Alexandrivna, Kravets Olena, Lesia, Katerina. Oh, three Katerinas. So who'd like to talk?
Can I?
You're welcome.
Okay, so the zone of proximal development is a theory presented by Lev Vygotsky and is considered to be a part of sociocultural theory of learning. And it is viewed as a three-level model of learning. So here are what we should know. So the first point what we should consider is what the student already know. And there are something. And the second thing is what he doesn't know. The zone of proximal development is a part where the student is unable to do the task alone, but can do it with assistance. So we find it quite evident that peer help is a key factor here. So we decided to present some activities like peer teaching, semi-controlled activities, and collaborative problem solving, as well as peer assisted reading and role-playing conversations, and collaborative vocabulary buildings. So we believe that it cannot be performed individually to one student. Maybe a teacher can be an assistant, but actually it's very useful in group activities.
So thank you for such a detailed presentation. And here I need to ask you, so what is truly essential like in this theory of like with the zone of proximal development? What can help the learner to acquire the language? What or who? I'm giving you a hint. So you mentioned peer teaching here. Then this can be also the peers
yes.
can provide assistance to you, or it can be the teacher. And if you have a look, for example, at this zone of proximal development, yeah, so I have like the picture that schematically presents the idea. So it means that For example, like if the task is too challenging, for example, the student feels anxiety. Yeah. So like if, for example, if it's something that is known to the student, he feels boredom. That's why we should be somewhere in between. Or with the help of Venn diagram, so like this zone of proximal development is illustrated in such a way that here we have what the student already knows or learner already knows. Here comes what is not known to them, and here that's what the learner doesn't yet know, but what can be known, what can be acquired with the help of some assistance. This can be either peer assistance or it can be teacher's assistance. And the zone, like the theory about the zone of proximal development is interrelated with the so-called, with a term that I believe all of you know. So we call it scaffolding. What is scaffolding? Scaffolding. Who'll tell me that? It's support. Yeah, oh, Olena, yeah, support. Sorry, I didn't see like your hand raised and I already answered that. Yeah, that's the support that is provided to you either on behalf of the teacher or on behalf of your peers that will enable you to move to the next higher level. Doesn't this theory about the zone of proximal development seem kind of similar to some other theories? Don't you see any commonalities between this ZPD theory and one more theory that has already been mentioned today? What is the theory? Okay, Helena?
It seems to me that this theory is quite similar to the comprehensible input.
Yeah, quite right, because comprehensible input theory suggests, yeah, that so the information or just that we provide our students with should be neither too simple, because if they already know it, they will get bored, not too challenging, because it will cause fear, anxiety, and lack of confidence in themselves. And one more a theory that is left is cognitive theory. I see Sonia and Quirky Owl to be the participants of this group. Ladies, could you please give comments? Or perhaps this can be any other members of your team.
Okay, maybe that would be me. So cognitive theory in language learning explains how our brain works when we learn a new language, and learning a language is not just about memorizing words and grammar rules. Instead, like our brain organizes and connects new information with what we already know. Also, learners do not simply memorize words and grammar rules. They can analyze, compare, and apply them to different contexts. Also, learners develop mental frameworks. It can be schemas that help them understand and organize new linguistic information. And also, if a lesson is too difficult, students might feel confused and not learn well, actually. As for some practical ideas, I add like using concept maps. It can be like brainstorming with words that the students already know and related to the particular topic. Also, it can be like problem-solving task, information gap activities, and sequencing task. For example, like random order of words or sentences, and students can create like maybe a story of these sentences, or just make sentences from a random order of words like this.
Thank you. So just to sum it up, so I will provide you with just a few ideas on this. So why is it called cognitive theory? It means that we should provide information that will be in portions. Do not give like a lot of information at once. Besides, provide your students with enough practice so that the information could be drilled. Yeah. So mistakes are not viewed as kind of like obstacles obstacle. No, they are they are welcome. So they are understandable because so he who makes no mistakes makes nothing. So yeah, so that's what stands behind this cognitive theory approach. And we shouldn't base our learning just on theory. Okay, thank you, thank you. So that was great. Now let me check so how actively you listen to your peers, because right now I've prepared one more kind of like summing activity for you. So, and we will need to guess what theory is violated. We will analyze these situations. So, situation number one, a teacher forces students to speak in front of the class without any preparation. What theory is violated here? Okay, Yulia Andreevna?
Affective filter.
Right, you are. Yeah, because like if you feel anxiety, yeah, so then it means that this affective filter is too high. The second, students are expected to learn new vocabulary by memorizing long lists of words without any context, any images or real life applications. So what theory is violated here? No practice. Just remembering long lists, only verbal input is provided with no practice, no hands-on activities. Arseny?
Probably Bloom's taxonomy is violated.
Yeah, still, by the way, so you can, so like it can happen that more than one theory, yeah, so can be applicable to such a situation. So we deal with like a violation of this Bloom's taxonomy. What else can be mentioned here? If it's just theory, everything that is provided in words with no hands-on activities, Lera?
Maybe cone of experience.
Quite right, yeah. So Edgar Dale's cone of experience. Thank you. Number three, an instructor gives students reading materials that are far too advanced, making it difficult for them to understand the content, and that causes frustration. Okay, Olena?
I think it can be comprehensible input, yeah, and maybe ZTD theory.
Or zone, yeah, if no assistance on behalf of the teacher or as like learners is provided, then yeah, it can also violate the the principles of the theory of this zone of proximal development, yeah. But so like I would still say that it's more about this comprehensible input, because like the information is too advanced, material is too advanced. A teacher explains a difficult grammar rule without providing any peer collaboration or guided support for struggling students. It's about what? No support. No support. Okay, Olena?
So yeah, this one is more about
right, you are.
yeah,
About zone proximal
development.
Yeah, Vygotsky, suggested by Vygotsky. Students, number 5, are only asked to memorize and recall facts, but are never challenged to analyze, compare, or apply their knowledge to new situations. No application, no contrasting. Okay, Julia?
Bloom's taxonomy.
Bloom's taxonomy, thank you. A teacher introduces a complex grammar structure once without revisiting it throughout the course, assuming that students have fully mastered it. And just what's the point in revisiting these key points? What's this? What theory is violated?
Spiral curriculum.
Yeah, quite right. Thank you, Tatiana. Then students are expected to learn complex concepts immediately without going through stages of understanding, practicing, and mastering the material. So here a couple of theories can be violated. You just need to provide some comment behind. Oh, is it too difficult? Stages are mentioned, like which theory can
for phrases or for steps?
4
Uh-huh.
phases, yeah, so of learning the material. Thanks a lot. So like the boy was talking, I don't know who, but so thank you all the same. A teacher presents a long lecture full of abstract theories with no interactive, no hands-on activities. What's this? Okay, Marina?
Cone of learning.
Yeah, violation of Edgar Dale's cone of learning. A lesson is overloaded with too much information at once, making it difficult for students to process and remember key points. Like a lot of information. The information is not given in portions. So, Arseny?
Perhaps it is a comprehensible input.
Can be, or
Cognitive.
cognitive. Yeah, so thanks a lot. So is it Sergey who is talking? Yeah? Our
Yes,
newcomer.
Sergey.
So thanks a lot for being for being an active listener and an active participant. Thank you for supporting us. And so the last one. So a teacher gives all students the same task, even though some are ready for more advanced challenges, while others need more support. What is violated? What theory is violated? For some, it's too easy. For some, it's too challenging. And the teacher does not provide like any support in either of these cases. Marinchka?
Zone of proximal development.
Yeah, thanks. Cool. You've answered all these questions. So thank you. It just proves that you worked hard on it. Yeah. So the final touch, because like now that's the time for us to like to finish the class. So no problem. So we will like during our next class, we will deal with so with motivation. So and that's why like what I was supposed to touch upon today, like understanding learners' needs, will be kind of like a cornerstone that we will start the next class with. That's why everything is quite logical. Still, are there any volunteers? I need just one person who'd like to sum up what we've dealt with today. So I have this nice scheme representing all theories. Could you just dwell upon it? So suggesting just a few comments on each, so on each theory, and on why it's important to know them. Okay. Any volunteers? I don't usually like to appoint people. I like them to be the volunteers.
Can I add some comments?
Okay, Katyush. Yeah, you're welcome.
So I think we need to know all these theories just to understand the way we perceive maybe some lexical or grammatical items, and how all these like combinations, yes, of work and are processed in our minds. And as teachers, yes, so we need to see by analyzing all these theories, the logics. Yeah, so what should we do? What should we apply? Yeah, so to make so the learning process more effective, sometimes easier, and not to again, yes, so to get regress.
Yeah, there should be some progress, not the regress. And so we should plan our learning in such a way so that it could be dynamic, yeah, so that our students could progress all the time with them, like without losing interest in what we do. Yeah, so thanks a lot. Thank you. So special thanks to all of you for being so active. Today you talked a lot, and that's what I always appreciate about the classes. When it's in their like hands, like the lesson is in the hands of the learners. So when they act as teachers. Now, can I ask you to be so kind as to leave comments in the chat? So like you, not even comments, this will be figures representing how useful this information that we've covered today was to you. On the scale from 1 to 10, indicate how useful it was, where 1 means like not at all, like not useful at all, and 10 marks like it being very useful. Oh, 10 from all of you. So I wonder. So thank you. Yeah, but 8 because we covered this in university. That's okay. So yeah, that's okay. I can anticipate that quite a lot of you already worked with these theories. But if there are still some of you who put 10, then it means for you that so I did my job. So and I equipped you at least with some new phenomena and new concepts that you'll be well aware of and that you will apply in your teaching. So being in the shoes of the teacher. Thanks a lot. That was great. Now have some time for rest. Take time for rest. Enjoy the end of the week. Wait for some short tasks. Short tasks from me to be sent to you. Like I will attach them and inform you about this. Attach them at the weekend so that you could have enough time for dealing with it. And like we will see each other in a week at 8 sharp. Thank you. So good luck to all of you. Bye for now.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have a nice
Thank you.
week.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Have a nice one.
Thank you. Goodbye.
The same to you. Thank you. Bye.